Sustainable agricultural innovations play a vital role in improving food security, safeguarding the environment, and tackling climate change. In the developing world, they often integrate between traditional knowledge and modern technologies to address challenges like soil degradation or water scarcity. To discuss the aspects of agricultural innovations, I am today joined by a professional who has over more than 30 years of experience in agricultural development and the social sector, who is Sir Sudarshan Suryawanshi. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. I'm happy to be joined by you today.
Thank you.
So I would like you to first introduce yourself to our audience, and if you can please share with us what are the notable sustainable agricultural innovations that you have encountered in your experience that have significantly boosted farmers' productivity and improved incomes in the developing world, maybe in Africa or other developing countries.
I would like to give the examples of sustainable agriculture development first from India, where OCP Foundation has supported a project in a province called Karnataka. So there the area, particularly the North Karnataka region, which is a water scarce region and a very drought prone region, where we implement a agriculture extension project with support from OCP Foundation. And there we use the sustainable technologies for agriculture development, focusing on pigeon pea as a crop. And there, agriculture, you will see that it's not one single technology which works. There has to be a combination of technologies. There is no single silver bullet which can transform everything. So there will be always a combination of technology. So what we started is with the soil health improvement program first. And OCP Foundation and OCP as a group being with experience on the soil, particularly on the fertilizer side, we had a very good support from the Indian research institutes as well as the Moroccan research institutes, INRA particularly, in taking up that project. And in soil health improvement, what we did was testing the parameters for soil nutrients and minerals, which are helpful for pigeon pea, and then trying to help improve the soil by adding whatever was the scarce. And this was done on a very large scale in North Karnataka region. And we got a productivity almost double in the first year itself, where there were production of 3 quintals per acre, so which is transforms to 300 kilos per acre. We were able to take it to at least 5.5 to 6 quintals per acre. And this was a very basic support that was given to the farmers through soil testing and the addition of the minerals. Of course, the selection of a proper variety also played a very important role there. And the traditional varieties which were being used by farmers, we were able to introduce the new varieties which were developed by ICRISAT as well as the local agriculture universities, as we call state agriculture universities there. And we were able to get the productivity almost double for the farmers in that region. The sustainable technologies, particularly on the tech side, that what we used was, because it was the years between 2012 to 2015, where a lot of progress was happening in terms of usage of the cell phone. And a huge number of farmers were not taking to smartphones. And we were able to provide information on proper soil testing, on proper balance of the nutrients in the soil, and what is to be added for a good production of pigeon pea through the cell phone. And that really worked wonders in that region and got the productivity double for majority of the farmers who were in the project. I would like to give another example, which is the latest that we are working on, is sugarcane in Karnataka region again. And where now the tech world has transformed from usage of cell phone to provide the agriculture information to using now satellite data to analyze the minerals underground. So whatever you have minerals underneath the soil can be assessed by using satellite imagery. And of course that gets validated on the ground through a certain number of samples to be tested in the laboratory. There are tech innovations which has come up where you can put the sample in a soil testing machine, which is very handy, which we had introduced in the project. And one side you put the sample, and within 1 or 2 hours you can get a soil testing report for almost 10 to 12 minerals. including the major as well as the micro elements in the soil. And so a number of samples you validate with the satellite data, and then using AI, actually, artificial intelligence and the modeling, you can develop a model where you can apply it on a very large area, where you can get the soil data. And once you have the soil data, then you can recommend varieties, you can recommend nutrients, and you can do proper crop management, and using integrated pest management as well as integrated crop management and integrated water management, you can achieve the maximum results. And that we have seen in sugarcane, where in India the average yields are 30 tons per an acre. We were able to get 100 tons per an acre. So it almost tripled. And these are the effects of digital technology combination with our proper varieties that have been introduced by the local research institutes. And using those varieties and the proper sustainable technologies, you can increase the production with the proper soil health improvement program also. Because for sustainable agriculture, you want to have a very sustainable soil health. Otherwise, if the soil starts deteriorating, any number of chemicals you add, it is again going to pollute the soil, and it will not improve it properly. So while during crop production itself, you should see that you have to add very balanced fertilizer management principles, and then see that the soil is sustainable for a very long term. No, it doesn't deteriorate, and you get the same kind of production year on year, every year the same production you should be able to get. So these are the two examples that I have come across. One was the Pigeon Pea, which was supported by OCP Foundation, where we were able to use the sustainable technologies and get almost double the yield of the Pigeon Pea for majority of farmers in our project area. And the recent one that we have tried with sugarcane, and it is giving us wonderful results.
Thank you very much for sharing these experiences, and I can emphasize that when the set of combination of technologies are used in an effective way, it can double the production of yields and improve farmers' incomes. Can you please, based on your experience, of course, how do you perceive the role of digital technology in advancing sustainable agriculture across Africa, and what are some specific examples of their impacts on enhancing productivity, on fostering clean energy adoption within farming communities?
I have worked in Africa as well during 2001 to 2010, and that time I have worked in Ethiopia, in Zimbabwe, in Zambia, in Ghana, where I was working for an organization called International Development Enterprises, and we mainly were doing interventions in terms of providing technological support to the farmers in Africa. And that time, of course, not so much of digital technologies were available between 2001 to 2010, but our more focus was on water technologies. So water is a scarce commodity in India as well as in Africa. Though water is available underground, but access to water is difficult, and most of the farming in Africa is also still rain-fed. And so converting rain-fed farming to irrigated agriculture using whatever scarce resources that you have at your disposal, using proper agriculture technologies. So we introduce water technologies for water harvesting, water storage, water distribution on the farm, and see that with every drop of water that you use, you get the maximum yield. So I used to take a bucket and demonstrate how from a small bucket of water you can irrigate your backyard garden through drip irrigation system, and get the produce in a very small area of 100 to 200 square meters. No, and a family can be self-sufficient in terms of getting vegetables from their backyard itself. And the same concept of gravity irrigation then can be applied to larger areas of say 1 acre and to 5 acres or 10 acres, and you can get a very good yield using drip irrigation. Now the things have changed. That time no drip irrigation was available, and I had to make aware people of what drip irrigation is and train them. But now everybody knows about drip irrigation and the sprinkler irrigation. Now you can use many technologies again within for irrigation as well as nutrient management as well as crop management. And as I said earlier, the satellite technologies for mineral assessment under the soil. And then because you can do it in a very large area, so per sample your cost or per farmer your cost gets reduced to a very minimal dollar or a rupee for soil testing. And once you have your proper soil data, you can decide what the soil is deficient and what you need to add, particularly for growth of a particular crop. And then accordingly, then you can do a farming in a very scientific way. And the digital technologies, as well as the traditional technologies in terms of the seeds, varieties, fertilizer, water, and proper nutrients, you can really increase the yield by double to triple also in certain crops. And across Africa, that I have seen from east to west and from north to south, here again holdings are small. Sometimes farmers don't have the technologies at their disposal, to get the entire area cultivated, and sometimes a lot of area remains barren because you don't have the resources. So coupled with resources and the technology, you can really help the farmers in Africa to boost their yields.
Thank you very much. I want you to elaborate on your efforts regarding the role of farmer producer organizations to help combat climate change and increase climate resilience. What are their role in disseminating these digital technologies?
So since 2011, I have been working on this concept of farmer producer organizations in India. And a farmer producer organization is either a company or a cooperative. It can be, because it's a legal entity. You can register it as a company also, and you can register it as a cooperative also. Government of India has supported the promotion of farmer producer organizations in a big way. And I was part of the National Federation of farmer producer organizations set up under the Ministry of Agriculture. And the farmer producer organization is formed comprising minimum 500 to 1,000 farmers. It can be more also, depending on the density of the farming population in a particular area. So in a cluster of 10 to 15 villages, and 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 farmers can come together, and they can set up a company or a cooperative, which is a farm company or a farm cooperative. And the FPO, farmer producer organization or a farmer producer company, does is it can get all the resources required by the farming community for cultivation of their farms in a combined way. So you can negotiate for the price of a seed, you can negotiate price for a fertilizer, you can negotiate price for irrigation system, and you can exchange knowledge. And you would see that most regions are focused around commodities. So this is a maize growing region, this is a rice growing region, this is a wheat growing region, this is a melon growing region, or this is a mango growing region, or this is a almond growing region. And so automatically the FPO can be formed around a commodity, around a crop. And so you can bring the best expertise available in that area as well as from anywhere in the world, because now you have all technologies at your disposal through the digital world, and you can apply in your region for boosting the crop yields, the productivity, as well as incomes of the farmers by getting proper access to the market. So on the input side, you buy in an aggregated way, as well as you aggregate your produce, and either you can process it or sell it or export it to a given market, because you are now have an economy of scale. You are not dealing as an individual farmer, but you are dealing as 1,000 farmers, or you are dealing as a 2,000 farmers. And so you have an economy of scale, you have large set of farms at your disposal. You can produce at a scale, and then either you can process or value add and then supply it to the buyer. So you can negotiate price with your buyer. So we have many examples, and I must quote that in our Pigeon Pea project in Karnataka, where OCP Foundation gave us a support, there we were able to form around 11 farmer producer organizations comprising 1,000 farmers each, so around 11,000 farmers in 3 districts of North Karnataka. And they, as stated earlier, increased their yield also from 3 quintals per an acre to 6 quintals per an acre, and also were able to supply the produce to government as well as other agencies. And all these 11 FPOs then were federated at a state level, and this federation then was able to get produce from all the farmer producer companies and then give it on a much bigger scale to government, because government buys a lot of pigeon pea from farmers in India, as well as to the processors who process pigeon pea crop for getting the grain into two halves and then selling it into the market. So the FPO Federation was able to do a business of almost $25 million by aggregating the produce from various organizations and then selling it to the government. And there are many such examples in India where the farmer producer organization are engaged in export as well as in processing, and also selling produce, vegetables and fruits domestically. So there are many, one FPO that I know in Maharashtra which does export of grapes, and it has a huge revenue from sale of grapes to international markets. Similarly, one FPO is dealing in turmeric, and it has a huge revenue by selling turmeric to various markets domestically as well as in the export. So in India, there are many successful examples, but there are failures also. And it happens like the startup world. You set up a company, it may do good business or it may fail. But then coming together of farmers, setting up a company, and then because instead of one farmer, you have thousands of farmers, you have a strength of unity. You can talk to anybody in the world, to the government, to the research institutes, to the seed supplier, to the equipment supplier, to a buyer, and you can negotiate your price. And you can negotiate information, you can negotiate technology, and give benefit to the farmers in terms of good production and good sale.
Thank you very much. So I understand that farmer organizations play a vital role in when it comes to governance, when it comes to facilitating the markets and access of farmers to sell their products in the market, but also they have a negotiating power with different entities to facilitate business. Thank you very much for sharing these insights. Dear audience, thank you very much for following this episode, and thank you very much, and see you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.